And we are live. All right, what's up, everyone? This is Ryan here, and you are watching Crypto Grinders. And today we have Karan Khemani, the CEO of Spectre, the world's first brokerless exchange, trading exchange. Give me a second.
Hello.
A little bit of feedback. Right. So there's a little bit of feedback. What's up, everyone? So Karan, all right. So, the chat is pouring in as we speak. Everyone's excited about Spectre. I think everyone wants to understand how Spectre works, and why you even stepped in. I mean, you were from JP Morgan, and then after that, you left from JP Morgan to Goldman Sachs. What was your position in Goldman Sachs previously?
I was an executive director.
Okay, you were an ED, executive director, and you were hitting which market basically?
Mainly equities, long, short European equities.
Right.
Typically, market capitalization was 200, 300 million, all the way up to 5 billion.
All right. And what made you leave the banking industry to come to cryptocurrencies? It's still very young, still very small. I think the portfolios that you guys handle are way bigger than the overall market cap of the whole cryptocurrency market. please share a little bit of that before we get into Spectre's platform.
Sure. So to give you a bit of a background, I didn't leave Goldman to get into cryptos, because I left Goldman actually a long time ago. I left it 6 years ago, and I left to basically start my own technology company. And I built a team where I have, with the same team that we have for Spectre, is the same team that has been with me for over half a decade. And there we basically were creating financial technology. Predominantly 80% of our business was financial technologies that help traders trade safer, either through education or algorithms that help them spot market opportunities easier and manage their risk as well. So this is something we were doing for quite a while. And then we started to look into the blockchain around 15 months ago, 15 to 16 months ago. We started to study the use cases of the different blockchains. And we got very excited by Ethereum, because we found a way to remove financial fraud out of trading. We reach over 8,000 traders directly and indirectly through our education. And a lot of the feedback that we have received from a lot of the traders has been that despite you guys trying to help us, giving us better techniques and knowledge on how to trade, whether it's binary options or FX or whatever, we're still getting scammed by the broker. Manipulates prices. We have to deposit money with the broker. Sometimes they trade on our behalf. This is a big problem in digital options, in binary options, and also a big problem in FX. Not all brokerages are bad, but a big portion of them are playing games. And so we basically said, okay, we can use the Ethereum blockchain, allow traders to continue trading, however they're doing right now, but in a very safe and transparent environment without the broker. So we basically removed all the functions that are important that a broker does today, such as providing their liquidity, their balance sheet, allowing you to trade a range of assets, a range of instruments, providing the pricing for your trade entries and your trade exits. These are three key functions a broker does. But the problem is that most of the time, this is in a B-book scenario. Book basically means that you're trading against the broker's balance sheet. So if you win, they lose money. So there's a conflict of interest, and therefore they will play games. And so what we basically did is we took these key functions, we put them into smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain, and you don't need the broker anymore. The traders can continue to trade the markets. One very important small point I just want to make is that, yes, we have exchange in our name, speculative tokenized trading exchange, but we're not a cryptocurrency exchange. And I can see how that would create some confusion, because there are a lot of cryptocurrency exchanges that are allowing you to own, buy, and sell what is known as digital assets, which are effectively cryptocurrencies. There's a lot of names being thrown around, but actually what we are providing is an exchange between traders and other traders, and an exchange between traders and the liquidity pool that we have, the decentralized autonomous liquidity pool, which is a key USP to our company. By exchange, what I mean is you're actually betting against. It's just literally wagers. You never own the underlying assets, right? So it's a synthetic market that we're creating. It's effectively wagering, and that's a big difference. So we're not a cryptocurrency exchange, and you sell cryptos and you can hold on to them. With our platform, you're actually betting on the direction, and you can make a lot of money in a very short amount of time if you know what you're doing. Right, our payouts are 70 to 90% plus. Also on the CFDs, you can lever up a little bit. So it's a speculative trading platform. It's not so much just an exchange.
Mm-hmm. And I went through the website. It's actually very easy to use, right? You're just betting up or down. I think it's going to be very popular with the Asian community, especially in China and Korea. I think Asians on a whole just love to speculate. In fact, everybody loves to speculate because it's easy, right? Because no one has so much time to go through technical analysis and fundamental analysis. Screw that. I think I just want to put a little bit of money in, bet up or down. And if you're saying that it's brokerless, now I want to ask you a question, Karan. It sounds like fat-free yogurt, but in actual fact, yogurt has a lot of sugar. So please share a little bit about how you guys make money, right? Because I think at the end of the day, there will be a portion of the Spectre tokens, which is your dividend tokens, and then after that, there's the normal Spectre token. So before we get to that, I think everyone wants to know, how do you guys make money? I think it's very straightforward, but I want to hear it from you.
Sure, very good point. So basically, the way we Spectre AI, the technology company, makes money is basically we on option contracts, the ones that you can find in our platform now. When you can trade demo money, by the way, in our platform already. We make 2% of each trade volume. So, for example, 2% of the value of each trade, right? So if a user takes $100 bet up, for example, we get $2 on that. Whether they win or lose is irrelevant to us. So we are paid on volumes, not on losses, right? Yes, of course, if the trade loses, we make that 2%. If the trade wins, make that 2%, but there is no bias in that respect. The dividend token holders also make 2%, okay? And after paying out us and the dividend token holders, it depends on if the trader has won or lost. If they have lost, then that money goes to the remaining money goes to the pool. And if they have won, effectively, the pool pays them out the difference. Now, one thing to note is that the trader can be trading directly against this pool, but the trader can also be matched against other traders, peer-to-peer. And our algorithm will do that dynamically. When the match is peer-to-peer, there's no impact of the pool. The pool is unaffected. Okay.
So theoretically, I guess you can say that it's a very lucrative platform. I mean, most platforms like this, it's extremely lucrative. So I think most people will understand that, okay, since you have this dividend element as well, okay, but then you have a token buyback program. So could you share a little bit about the token buyback program?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. The token buyback program basically is focused on the utility token. The utility token is a very benign token. It's not a security. It just gives traders additional privileges on the platform, like higher payouts, different contract types, Spectre Financial Education Academy, it just kind of gives them extra privileges. So this token needs support. It needs support in the financial exchanges because it doesn't have dividends, right? So we're buying back that 3%, 3-5% of our revenues will go towards buying that token back. And basically done on the days or on the months where the token is weak. So we provide a bit of price support to that for token holders. For that one, it's not a security, so it can list on some of the bigger exchanges, so it'll be more liquid, we feel. Whereas the dividend token is a security, no doubt, and it's not of interest to big VCs or something because they need liquidity. They need to be able to exit their positions. So the dividend token is going to be on the smaller exchanges, the smaller decentralized peer-to-peer ones.
Okay, so the token also allows. There's also an aspect of the token providing a monthly payout as well. How is it possible from an accounting perspective that you can do a monthly payout? Is it basically it's a script, or you guys are gonna calculate the revenue, total revenue collected, and then from then you distribute it out? How does that work?
Yeah, very good point. So very important thing to note is that we, from an accounting effective.
You might have to repeat that.
Gross revenues. When I say our, I'm talking about corporate Spectre AI.
Yeah.
Sure. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, because you cut out just now. So yeah.
Sure. So Spectre AI's revenues are net after paying out the 2% dividend to token holders at source. So basically, the 2% is deducted immediately when the trade is made. It goes into a separate wallet, and then the users who hold the D tokens, they can log in and withdraw their entitlements anytime they like. One small thing to note is that it's weekly dividends. It's not monthly. It's actually weekly.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's getting me excited because I'm someone who just likes to sit at the side. I'm not going to speculate because I think most of the time when it comes to these speculative platforms, right, it's always so difficult. So there's always the thing that I always know that the house tends to always win. So firstly, will the house always win, Karan?
In short, look, if you're an investor in the platform, right, then yes, the house will, over time, it will win. It will not always win on a daily basis, but over time it will win because if you look at hundreds and thousands of traders and transactions, we have data from both binary options, FX. Unfortunately or fortunately, trading is a zero-sum game, and generally speaking, 49.8% is the win rate that traders are able to make on average. You need around 57%, 58% for all traders on average to start to hurt the pool. So there is a big buffer in there. From an investor standpoint, in a way it's good. All the investors are getting paid on volumes, not necessarily losses. But the one thing I want to make very clear is that in foreign exchange, 1% of traders make a very good living. 5% of traders make money. Do make money. It's all about technical analysis and fundamental analysis. And you hit the nail on the head when you said, look, most traders don't have time to get into it, right? Even if you learn the TA and the FA, it takes months, even years to tame the market, right? Because the market is so asymmetric. It moves in different ways and patterns, and it changes form. So most traders can't keep up with that. And this is why, for example, in 2015, you had almost $3 billion that was lost by traders in binary options alone. 3 billion alone, right? It just goes to show. But yes, there are some traders that made money, but it's a very small fraction. The most important thing to note is that it's not gambling, right? That's a really big distinction to make. So it's not like you're betting on black or betting on red. If you go and you take that attitude towards a market, then yes, you'll get crushed. But if you actually learn technical analysis and fundamental analysis and you wait for the right time, you can certainly improve your win rates to above 60% to grow capital. But it's difficult.
And I know that the good thing about this platform is that it is going to provide an educational site, or at least a little bit of technical analysis to at least get people going. And there's going to be like an academy. Could you explain a little bit more about that?
Yes, it's very true. So if you look at our background for the last 3 years, all of our revenues, our bills, all our salaries have been paid by Blue Sky Binary Education Academy. We've been big on education. Now we've teamed up with Scott Driscoll, who's very known in the blockchain space. He makes cryptocurrency and trading education courses at Pluralsight. He's now done a course for us for the blockchain. For investing and trading in general with cryptocurrencies. And of course, we are bringing over our technical analysis and fundamental analysis courses as well. You can already see some of them on the platform now. If you click on videos, you can see the different formations and setups that our educators have put together. So there's a big focus on education. There's also very, very huge focus on risk management. So it's very unique. You probably know MT4, you know all of the other sort of trading platforms. If you go to our platform and you click on risk management, it's like a whole universe of options that you don't see with normal platforms, right? For example, emotion control, win stop timeouts, loss stop timeouts, average drawdown, maximum drawdown. There's so many things that you can use to make sure that you don't blow your account.
And I noticed that you're using the old school equity link structures like Kiko, knock-in, knockout, you have barriers. So how is that going to be incorporated for an investor? For example, if let's say I would like to do a 6 months Kiko. So for example, there's a strike price and then there's a lower barrier. And if it hits my strike price, there's a knock-in price and a knockout price. Is that going to be available or is just a concept?
No, it's a very, very good question you bring up. So if you go on our website and you click on the asset availability schedule, it's under documents. There you can see that Kiko options, our head of R&D is already structuring them. We know Kiko's quite well. Also barriers. We plan to introduce also ladder options will be there as well. But more responsible payouts. For example, ladder options traditionally in binary options, they go up to 900% or something crazy. So those are easy ways for people to lose money. So yes, we'll be offering all of those. The only thing is that we won't allow people to structure their own products, if you know what I mean, on the platform. So we might be able to trade them on a range of assets. Specifically cryptocurrencies, we're very excited about bringing these digital options to cryptocurrencies. We think that could be quite lucrative.
Right. Because I think at the end of the day, most platforms are here to create a certain amount of excitement. But at the same time, also, if your platform could really incorporate something like a little bit like a long-term, like a futures contract or something like that, that would be very, very unique. Because if this element is there, that means if someone like myself who isn't a very good day trader as per se, and they have this feature incorporated, that means they have a chance to still make interest, right? They can still make interest on that particular contract. Say, for example, if they believe that, gold against US dollars is going to be 1,005 in 3 months' time, for example. Right, so there's an opportunity for them to earn interest in Spectre tokens, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Right. So it's a good point. It's a good point. So what you are referring to is our traditional A-book bridge. So right now, if you go to our platform, you find the digital options, right? No interest, intraday expiries. Yeah. So it's mainly day trading. The second stage, which is July of next year, August, we're introducing CFDs. Traditional contract for differences, which is basically positions that are GTC, good to close. So once you open them, long or short, you can leave them open and they can be open for weeks and months, right? You set the amount of pips you want to make, all that. The thing with those CFDs is there's no interest generally because there's no real leverage. But yes, on the third contract type, we will be giving the ability for traders to trade. You can also purchase the underlying assets, gold, fuse.
Sorry, Karan. You need to repeat that. Sorry. You got cut out. You got cut out again.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay.
So guys, Karan's office currently is undergoing repairs, so his internet isn't that fantastic. So it's not your computer. It's basically the internet on Karan's side. So please forgive him.
Sorry. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we are good. Yeah.
Okay, very quickly. Yes, the answer is yes. We are introducing those contract types towards the end of next year.
All right. Okay. So now share a little bit about the marketing strategy. How are you going to penetrate the market with this platform? Because I may understand it, but to other people, it's binary options. So there's people who don't like binary options and they feel that it's highly speculative, and you're coming in with an ICO. So how are you going to position yourself that you plan to be a market leader in this space?
Okay, so one very important thing to note is that, yes, it has a binary options element, but shortly after that, we're introducing CFDs. So we're also catering to your FX traders that don't like binary options. That's a big point to make, right? So it's not just binary options, it's the two, and then eventually a third asset class. The second thing is that, look, we have a traditional CPA program. We have a traditional introducing broker program in place. We've already been contacted by global affiliates introducing brokers who can bring us thousands of traffic already. And most importantly, we're going to be using around 7% of our funds to purchase existing brokerages that are active in digital options and FX. So we have both organic and inorganic growth strategy. These brokerages have over 10,000 MAU, monthly active users or monthly active traders. So in theory, we have the capability to meet our forecasts comfortably in year one doing that. In terms of to attract traders to the platform, look, we have some very, very important benefits. We can pay as good or even better in terms of payouts versus other digital options brokerages. We are competitive on spreads on FX, on the CFDs. You don't have to deposit money to trade with us. I can't stress how important this is. Because of our technology, you don't have to deposit with us. You can trade directly from your Ethereum wallet. You see what I mean? So you don't have to send us money. This is a big, big plus. Also withdrawals. We have no control over withdrawals, right? So we don't govern your withdrawals. That's all governed by smart contracts. So basically you're telling a trader, hey, you're used to trading at your normal binary options bucket shop or FX where you're not sure if you're going to get your money back. Now you can come to us, trade the same assets more, same payouts, cost of trading is the same, but the only difference is that we don't exist. We are not here to scam you. So for us, we think it's a pretty much a no-brainer. The only question, of course, is we need to get the message out, right? That's the challenge. However, we have the funds in place to do that. You know, already our pre-sale is close to 7 million. We have a main sale to go. I'm coming to Indonesia soon. I'm coming to Korea as well. I'm going to be meeting a lot of investors and kind of the wider community. So it's a process of education. In terms of the Asian market, like you said, that's a big play for us. A huge play is the Asian market. And we're going to be hiring a head of business developer there shortly who has built existing brokerages from scratch. That's the important thing, right? So we have some pretty heavyweight plans that they're in place in terms of organic customer acquisition.
All right. So in terms of this platform, right, it doesn't necessarily need a blockchain, but I do notice that you have a mainnet integration coming in Q1 2018. Aren't you concerned with the scalability, especially when you're talking about trading? You know, isn't that going to be an issue?
Very good question. So look, the thing is, if we want to remove the broker completely, right? And we want to make each trade verified by a decentralized network, we need a blockchain. The prices, for example, right? The price, trade entry and trade exit, we're not streaming them from our servers. They're coming from third parties and they're going into the smart contract directly via Oraclize or a third-party independent verification service. You need a blockchain for all of this, right? For the Ethereum crack, trade entry, trade exits, flow of funds from traders to the pool and back, all of this is governed by by the blockchain. So we need a blockchain if we're going to do this correctly, if we're going to do this in a way which removes financial fraud. So that's basically the reason we are doing this. In terms of scalability is a huge issue.
Before I continue, how are you going to secure your blockchain? That I want to know the consensus algorithm that you're using to secure your blockchain. So firstly, is it basically a open source blockchain or a private blockchain?
Oh no, it's not a chain. It's not a private chain. We're using the Ethereum blockchain.
Right. So you're using the Ethereum blockchain. Fine. Okay. So is there gonna be a consensus? Because so you're not creating your own. You're just riding on the Ethereum blockchain. Is that correct?
For the first 2 years, yes. A reason being transactions bridge and a verifications bridge. Most brokers, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. You went off a little bit. Yep.
In terms of workload, we have a very interesting. Sorry, I can see my connection is unstable. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you clearly now. Yep.
Sorry. Okay. Basically, we have a verification bridge that's blockchain linked and transactions bridge. The transaction layer can accept over 100 trades per second. Sorry, 100 trades per second.
Okay.
However, these basically get queued then Okay, they get queued on the verifications bridge, and the user sees a loading wheel on the side next to all their order positions, so they can see where their money is effectively after they've won the trade or they've lost the trade. They can track it in roughly speaking where it is on the blockchain and how long they can accept the funds to be credited to their account. That's how we're basically managing the network load issue. In a few years, once we have proven our worth to the market, we will possibly allow traders to also verify their transactions with a private chain, right? Which is much quicker. But we can't do this now, because if we went to a private chain now, everyone would say, well, how are you different? What if you're scamming us through fake verifications on the blockchain, right?
Sure. Okay. So we have a question from the audience. So when can we supposed to convert our SXS tokens to U or D tokens? Is there a conversion? Is there a way to convert within the system?
Yes, you will convert this. You log into your token sale portal where you have your password to it. You log inside, and after the December 10th, when the sale is over, you can just convert it at whatever rate you like to U or D or both.
All right. So Somesh Kumar, you got your question answered. Now, another question from Matthew G. I think it's more broad-based. What would you say your main obstacles are, and what are your plans to overcome them? I think you kind of answered that a little bit at the beginning, but maybe are there other obstacles that you potentially could face? I understand you already addressed the competition part, and maybe Matthew came on a little bit later, but do you have any others?
Yes.
other than fixing your internet? Matthew.
yes, other than the internet. The one big obstacle we see, I won't say big, but it's a challenge, so we need to work through that. It's basically we have around 300,000 binary option traders around the world that have been scammed last year. We have around 2.7 million FX traders, right, that are trading in a B-book environment, not those that are trading safely, but with B-book scam brokers. All these people, not a lot of them know about cryptocurrencies, right? Cryptocurrencies are still sort of in the adoption phase. They're not mainstream. So the process of bringing them to our site and telling them, look, actually, you're not trading in fiat, you're trading in Ethereum, right? That knowledge building phase through one or two tutorials, that will take time. Do you see what I mean? That's the kind of, once you go Ethereum, you understand, right? Once you trade cryptos, you understand what it is to open an Ethereum wallet to trade or whatever. But if you are coming from a world which you don't know anything about cryptos, then you will say, okay, what is Ethereum? What's an Ethereum wallet? Do you see what I mean? So that education is important, that we get that across very quickly. Now, one service that we're going to be offering is plug and play, which basically means that you give us power of attorney and we open the wallet for you after obviously doing KYC, and then you can fund that. Do you see what I mean? So it makes it much more quicker for you to start trading.
When you say fund, meaning that we can fund with US dollars, or we have to come in with BTC or Ethereum?
This we still need to determine with our KYC team, with our legal, but it is possible, possibly both. I don't want to say 100% now and then be proven wrong in a month, but we are exploring a solution where you could potentially convert on site your fiat currency to Ethereum, and then that's credited to your on-site escrow. We don't have your private key, by the way. We don't know your private key. But then it's basically your wallet which you use for trading going forward. That would.
Oh, you're cutting out. You're cutting out, Karan.
If we can get that done from a legal perspective, because this way then traders just come. They don't need to learn about cryptocurrency. They don't need to learn about Ethereum. They just convert and they start trading in Ethereum, right? Sorry.
So
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. So basically, I guess you understand the difficulties, right? Because people don't, not everyone knows how to buy cryptocurrencies, and the barrier of entry is very, very high. Have you thought about actually creating an offline sales team that maybe there's a place for that? I mean, depending on where your presence is, right? So currently now, where is your company registered, and do you plan to have like a sales office or something like that to help people get started in this, or you have to educate them through the site? What is the angle that you want to have the fastest penetration? Hello?
Good question. So our company is in British Virgin Islands. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, BVI. Okay, sure. Yes, I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
Yep.
I
And
can't.
we will
Cutting out.
we will have a sales office in Asia. We're
Sure.
still thinking whether it's Malaysia or Indonesia. Sorry.
Don't worry. It got cut out a little bit. Are you there? Is everything okay? Okay, I think Karan just froze. So guys, feel free to put in any questions that you have while Karan probably has to reconnect. Oh, you're here. Okay, cool. Yeah, so basically, oh, okay, he got cut out. So guys, if you have any questions, just free to drop it into the chat because right now he's reconnecting as we speak. So and then I think everyone wants to know about how the referral program is gonna work, and yeah, maybe we can talk a little bit more about that.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Sorry about that.
No problem, man. So just now we were in the discussion about setting up a offline sales office potentially to get people going. I understand that you're registered in the British Virgin Islands at the moment, but is there a way that you're going to help facilitate the purchase of cryptocurrencies? Especially because I think most platforms like yourself, if funding is direct through bank account to your bank account, then sure, that's very simple and straightforward. That would be probably the easiest. But what about countries who want to get started in cryptocurrencies, but they don't really know how to wire, or they may not have a bank account? Would you be willing to cater to customers like that? For example, you're going into Indonesia, so there is still it's still a growing presence of cryptocurrencies there, because we work with certain clients that they understand that the market now is still very young. They don't know how to buy crypto, and also, are you going to cater to the masses during that point? That means you're going to just educate, help them out.
Yes, we have roughly speaking, $150,000 budget for satellite offices in countries like Indonesia, and possibly Malaysia as well, where these are big markets, where we would have 1 or 2 personnel on ground who would help with the education of what are cryptos, because we have a crypto academy, right? What are cryptos, how to open a wallet, and how to start trading. We want to do that offline. In the bigger markets like Asia, we probably won't have these presences in Europe or anything. A lot of there, we're just going to be doing it online-based education. So on our website itself, simple steps on how to get set up. But in these bigger markets like Asia, we will have an offline presence too. Okay.
So just to clarify, one question from Sugi. Are you able to fund your account with a credit card? Does it allow you to do that?
No, so you can fund your Ethereum wallet potentially either via an exchange or another sort of website that allows you to convert fiat money into Ethereum, or Bitcoin, your fiat money into Bitcoin, and then exchange it into Ethereum. That can be done on our website. No, you can't bring your credit card and buy Ethereum, not at first. Later, we'll see if we can get that facility, but no. Of course, we want that, but it's easier said than done.
All right. And you have a referral program. Could you share a little bit about that referral program? Because I think when you have a referral program in place, right, it creates a lot of virility, because after a while, people start using the platform and they understand how the platform works, especially through the dividend model, and also those who want to learn more about how to trade cryptocurrencies. And of course, in this case, not just trading in terms of CFDs and whatnot. How are you? How is this referral program going to help bring out the whole platform and bring up the user base?
Yes. So you're referring now to the actual user base, right? The actual trading, not the ICO referral program.
Not the ICO referral program, but the actual referral program that is indicated here in the documentations. Oh, you mean your referral program is based on the ICO, not a referral program for the site, as in the actual, or you have both?
we have both. What you see right now, because we're in the ICO phase, you're only seeing the ICO one. Once the ICO is finished, that will be replaced with the affiliate program. The affiliate program is for the website. That's very detailed. We're hiring a head of affiliates who has worked very closely for 6 to 7 years with a range of brokers, built their affiliate programs. In a nutshell, basically, it's an exciting one because traditionally, in the binary options industry, affiliates are compensated on losses, mainly on losses, right? With us, it's different. We're going to be paying a small CPA, so a one-off payment, such as $100, $150 for each client sent. But on top of that, the affiliate also gets between 0.1 and 1% of volumes. So, for example, Spectre AI is making 2% revenues, right? 2%
That's
fees.
Right. That's right.
The affiliate can get 0.1 to 1% of that amount. So if they have an incentive to get, and it's not driven just by losses, which is important. So we want to be very responsible because in the binary options and FX industry, a lot of the products that are created are fake, broken auto traders, broken signal services. They are designed to deplete the user's account. You see what I mean? Because affiliates get paid on losses. With us, it's different because they're not paid just on losses. They're just paid on volume. So you can actually create more responsible products as an affiliate to get users to use our platform.
Okay, so now I think raising money. I think this question goes out to most companies who are trying to raise funds. How did you guys successfully raise 7 million? I mean, in terms of the pre-sale, and what creates that success?
Okay, so I would say. First of all, it's an uphill struggle. It's a challenge. The markets have turned against ICOs because so many ICOs have raised hundreds of millions, not delivered yet. And also a lot of the token prices are falling.
I know.
Because,
I know.
Yeah, exactly. There's real reasons behind that. We can discuss exactly why. We know exactly why that's happening. In answer to your question, basically, it's transparency. You have to, as a management team, spend time inside Telegram. Telegram is a huge communications channel, whether it's Telegram or Kakao in Korea or whichever regions, they have their regional sort of variations. Telegram is pretty big here. And so being there, answering all the questions, even the negative ones, right? Because we know a lot of ICOs, what they do is if someone comes in and asks a question like, I don't believe your business model, prove it, they're thrown out of the group immediately, right? That doesn't send a good message. So you need to take those tough questions as well. Number one. The second thing is you have to have a very good community manager.
Now before we go into the community manager part, what do they not believe? That's the thing. People just like to throw a question out there, like throwing fart, But at the end of the day, what do they not believe about this model? That's the thing. Which part? I'm sure you got this question like a million times. So let's clear that today and right now.
No, sure. Basically, so the one thing they basically say is, oh, why do you make money from traders' losses? Okay, so that's the first thing. And we say, okay, we make money on volumes. And yes, traders lose more money than they win. So mathematically, we will have to make money from losses as well. So then some people, the trolls, normally say, well, why don't you only make money on wins? We explored that. We actually explored that.
Because there are more losers. There are more losers, man. Like, duh.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But there's another reason, the more sinister reason, and this is a problem, is if we were only making money on wins, then it is in my interest as an ex-Goldman guy to get my Goldman guys together and destroy the pool, right?
Sure.
And so it's a bigger it's an equally big conflict of interest. So people don't see that. So we get that question. We also get the question, oh, you're not fully decentralized. And that's accurate. They're actually right. If you think about it, there are like Wings. Wings is a crowdfunding platform, Russian, I think. Their whole website is also built and stored on the blockchain. It's crazy, but everything is on the blockchain. So the whole software, blockchain. Our platform is a web server. It's on our 6, very secured servers. You can trade through it. It accesses the blockchain for certain parts, the critical parts, but the software, the trading software, is not sitting on the blockchain. It would be too slow, right? You wouldn't be able to actually.
It will be.
So yeah, right. So we're not 100% decentralized, but even if you speak to Vitalik Buterin, the creator of Ethereum, he says the answer isn't full decentralization. It's a marriage between a certain degree of centralization and then a wide part which is decentralized. So we get those questions, and it's difficult to to really argue against. I can't lie and say, yeah, we're fully decentralized. So those are the tough questions, I would say. Sometimes we get questions. For example, I'll give you one. Our company is called Spectre, and that stands for Speculative Tokenized Trading Exchange. If you actually make the acronym, you'll see it comes to Spectre. However, there is another company called Spectre Coin. And when they found out that we were using Spectre, they're called Spectre Coin, we're Spectre, they are hell-bent. They believe that we have stolen their name and we want to copy their business model. They're actually a competitor to Bitcoin. They're not a trading platform. So you get a lot of these questions as well. You know, people say, why did you choose the same name and all these things? You know, and honestly, we have to answer. We said, look, ultimately, people will have similar sounding names, right? And yes, it causes a bit of issue, but ultimately, that's the technical name of our business. Those would be sort of the difficult questions I would say we get.
Sure. And we were about to talk about the community manager. So share a little bit about that. And by the way, the question, guys, is what makes a successful ICO? Because Spectre has managed to achieve 7 million in terms of raising funds through the pre-sale, especially in this very, very cold down market. And that was the question to Karan. So now we're on to the social media manager or the community manager. Now, I think you have a very strong social media manager. I think that's very important. So share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we have two teams that are working with us. One team is the YouTube managers. I'll speak a little bit about them. And then we have a social media community manager that takes care of our Reddit, our Bitcoin talk, our Telegram to a certain degree as well, Facebook, and Discord. This community, in my opinion, these community managers are probably the best in the industry. Because they're not expensive, which is important. They're not out to steal money from, they're actually cheap compared to others. And they work very hard. They're very professional, very professional. They work 18 hours a day. And you need this backup team to also bounce ideas off against, right? You need to ask them, what do you think about this pre-sale structure? What do you think about this level of bonus? What do you think about, they do so many ICOs, so they have a lot of data. So in my opinion, I think a community manager is very important. Also, one more thing to note is that the community manager has big connections. So for example, we found one of our biggest investors through the community manager, right? Early investors, So very important to get that team right. That can go very wrong. The YouTube outreach is very important. Otherwise we wouldn't have found amazing people like you, crypto grinders. So
thank you.
Right. So it's important. So it's important to have a team. It's not just one person. It should be 3 or 4 people that have connections with top influencers who can get the project out. So those are 2 important things. The third most important thing I would say is security. I cannot stress security enough. We received during our token sale 360,000 roughly hack attempts, split over 1,700 nodes, right? All over the world, different types, DDoS, low level. They tried to also break into service. None got in. They gave up 2 days ahead of the sale, right? Not one got in because we have some pretty good measures in place. But I will say that token sales have been hacked before.
Yes,
prominent
all
ones.
the time.
Yeah, all the time. And millions have been stolen. So get that right. That's a huge issue. And our team can help you as well to a certain degree if you want. So get the security right. And finally, then the legal. The legal is very, very important, especially in this environment. Make sure that the token you are creating, if it's a security, not a problem, but just understand what that means in terms of exchanges, liquidity. And finally, I would say marketing. The marketing bit is actually easier than one would think in this space. You just need to have a budget. You need to have a budget of at least $200,000 at least.
Yes.
Right. Because the cost of services has gone up a lot as well. Right. So you need to take that into account as well.
All right. So Karan, I think you're someone who is, a very capable CEO. I think you have covered this whole platform in terms very holistic. You even understand it from a technical standpoint and a marketing standpoint. And guys, if in terms of I have this very tough question that came out from my side. So firstly, in terms of the amount of seed that you all started with, is that even convenient to share? If it's not convenient to share, it's okay. The amount of seed that you all started off with, and gradually, how do you build it up to the current valuation that you all are having at the moment?
Okay, so if you take a look, okay, there's two things here. There are two questions here. So I guess the first question is how much seed capital did we have? Is that correct?
That's right. How much seed capital? Yeah.
Okay, so we always like to keep a buffer in case, for rainy days. So we have immediately when I presented this idea to our investors who have been with us for 6 years, by the way, right? Not just some people we found on the street, 6 people, they've been there for years. They said, this is massive. This is huge. We should move on this quick. So around 12 months ago, the actual creation of the structures and everything took place. The platform started getting coded. We raised $500,000, $500,000. Okay. But however, we have not even spent half of that to get to the pre-sale level. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So only roughly 250 or in that range was spent to actually raise what we have done now, just to give you some data.
So $250,000.
Correct.
Yeah, $250,000. And you have successfully raised $7 million now in terms of the valuation. So how would you actually value your company when it has no revenue at the moment? Just so this is not my question, man, but I get it a lot, and feel free to answer.
It's a fair question.
It's
a fair question. So there's quite a few. So to give you some background, valuation is my expertise. This is what I did for 7-8 years, and so there's quite a few different tangents with how you can approach this. In short, valuations in the ICO space are crazy. So there's no way I can sit here and say, yeah, we're worth $13 million. We don't have revenues yet. You're right. But you always need to benchmark your ICO's valuation relative to other ICOs, right? If you benchmark, for example, take a look at the last 15 ICOs that went live. Look at PayPal. Look at Monetha. These ICO'd at 30 million, 68 million, these type of levels. Currently, our valuation is at 13 million, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think we're going to raise more than 2 to 3 million because we don't really have that much need for that much more capital. So our valuation at listing will be somewhere in the range of 15 to 20 million. Now, yes, if you look at this valuation to the off world and you look at other startups, investors will be like, what are you talking about? You have no revenues, you have nothing. How can you value the business? But this is all about comparative valuations in the space, right? So that's one argument. The second argument I would give, and this one is a bit more technical, is there is no bearing, there is no link to the seed level equity. So if you look at the parent company that's doing the ICO, it has shares, right? For example, I'm a X% owner. That equity is not tied to the tokens. I know it sounds crazy, but
it's always separate.
Right? So it's always separate. So this actually means that there's a token valuation. There's a token market valuation, which is separate and can be very detached to the parent company's seed valuation. This is a very new concept for people to get their heads around, especially traditional equity strategists, researchers, valuers. So it's crazy,
I had
right?
to ask you this question because literally you handle all these kind of stuff. And most of these companies that you used to value, okay, I mean, if you're valuing a country, there's always the GDP, there's always the growth, there's something to value it, but I am very curious to want to hear it from you guys. I mean, especially from someone like yourself who used to be from Goldman. I mean, I'm sure it's mind-boggling also to put a dollar to your business, right? And it's something that is future value. It's so difficult to have a valuation background on it. So I have a question from Joe Baker. Basically, he's asking, so can you expand on that background? Because you mentioned valuation background. So could you expand on that?
Yeah, with pleasure. So basically, I'll go in depth. So give me 5 minutes. Basically,
no problem.
2005 until 2009 summer or so, I was at JP Morgan Cazenove, where I was doing what you call fundamentals equity research. So I'm from a research background. What we do there basically is valuing publicly listed companies. Okay, so we look at their asset metrics, balance sheet valuation metrics like enterprise value to invested capital compared to its cash return on cash invested divided by its WACC, which is its weighted average cost of capital. So balance sheet value drivers. We also look at earnings multiples like price to earnings ratio, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard about. It's your very traditional valuation metric. Enterprise value to sales, enterprise value to EBITDA. These are multiples, and you basically rank companies, and then you have an average, and you see how a company is overvalued or undervalued. We I was taught basically the cutting edge skills in the space, having worked at JP Morgan and then eventually Goldman Sachs. So we understand how to value businesses, right? And I can tell you that the valuations in the ICO space are very are screwed up, right? They're all over the place. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. But and this is why I say also that the time is running out, because ICOs need to start delivering. They need to start hitting these big revenue, and they need to grow into the multiples. If they don't grow up quickly, you're going to see massive drops in price, because most investors will say, well, why the hell am I investing 10 million in this ICO, and this ICO is valued at 100 times earnings, when I can invest 5 million in something that's valued at 20 times earnings? I'm getting a dividend yield on it. Only difference is it's listed on the New York Stock Exchange, right? That comparison between cryptocurrency exchanges and valuations there versus the actual exchanges has not yet been made. The institutional capital is not yet in cryptocurrency. There are some vestiges of it, but it's not there, which is what I mean is hedge fund managers, institutional managers that have this traditional valuation background, they are not really even looking so much at cryptos. Once they start, you start to get better research into the space. Like right now, there isn't a single token valuation research company, is there?
Very few. They're trying to come up with a valuation model, but the problem is it's so vast that they're trying to formulate one. And I guess at the end of the day, it's kind of hard to put something down on pen and paper accurately. This is the thing. Yeah.
So it's a very good point you make. So this is the reason I pushed for 6 months, and I said we have to get a dividend yielding security out there, because yes, I agree with you. If you have 10 different ICOs and one token is pulled out of someone's ass, one token is doing this, one token is doing that, you can't value a utility token, right? Because you don't know what it's going to yield. So you have a dividend token, at least it pays money, right? It pays money, and then you can run what is known as a Gordon growth model, a dividend discount model. You can discount future dividends to today's net present value using a discount rate. We use a 30% discount rate, for example. This is a great way to value I won't say great, because even the equities world, people sometimes say, well, dividend discount models have their drawbacks, but it is much better than what we're seeing in the ICO space today. Every company that is doing an ICO today that has a yielding security, a dividend, right? And those are the brave ones. I respect those companies because they want to pay shareholders. They don't want to scam them and dupe them and say, yes, someday our utility token will be used by millions. Those companies should have a a dividend discount model run on their token. And then you can draw a peer group. You can see this is where Spectre's is. This is where so-and-so's is, right? And then you can have a proper benchmark. This benchmarking process will only happen if people like us get in the space and take it seriously and start to put out research. Right now, there's so much garbage research out there, right? I mean, just crap being pulled out of the sky. So I agree with you, actually. It's difficult to defend these type of valuations. And the problem is lack of information. The problem is, like, if you ever read a research report written by an investment bank on a listed company, and you see their level of rigor that goes into it, right? That level of rigor needs to go into every ICO. And the company that can do that, a company that can do that properly, diligently for every ICO, this will be huge for them. They will become worth hundreds of millions because people will pay for that research. Especially the big funds, because the big funds will start to look at the space more seriously. And also, I think it will bring the valuations down in the space. Do you see what I mean? It won't be easy to raise 30 million so quickly anymore. So, yeah.
I think you're already hitting the nail on the head when it comes to that. Now, I have this question from, I think it's not more of a question, it's more of a statement. So binary.com has started its ICO. Right, so they are already in the space as a binary broker, right? And they want a piece of the pie. So naturally competition is always very natural in this space. And obviously when you have binary.com who already has a revenue stream, obviously they can definitely maybe pay a better dividend and whatnot. So how are you gonna be able to keep up? I think that's the most important thing. Or you feel that you're just gonna, just work the ground and build your database. What's it gonna be?
The thing about binary.com is they have been around for a long time. Right. Our Blue Sky Binary also did some education for them back in the while. What I would just urge users to do is to Google binary.com and Forex Peace Army. and do your own research, right? Because anything I say on this call, we don't want to have any sort of litigation. We want to, just not attack competitors. We're going straight. We know how we're going to acquire our users. But what I would like to say in general about brokerages, binary brokerages, and this applies to 100% of them, is that they're centralized. So you're trading against their balance sheet, whether you like it or not. Whether those brokerages want to ICO and pay dividends or not, ultimately there's a centralization problem. And that centralization problem means that if you make too much money, they can shut you out. They can, if they want, they can shut your account, right? And we've had a lot of instances of this happening without mentioning names. We've had also instances of price manipulation. Just Google it and it'll become very clear who I'm referring to. So the issue here is that because of the way our company is structured, our trading environment, we're offering everything competitors are, centralized competitors, but with the safety that our team can't intervene. The smart contracts are there. They're already distributed on the servers when we go live. When I mean servers, I'm talking about the 22,000 plus Ethereum nodes. We can't step in. We can't take money from the pool. We can't stop withdrawals. We can't stop payouts, nothing. So if you want that safety, right, then trade with us. If you don't want that safety for whatever reason, then it's a free world. You can trade. You can trade anywhere you want, right? We believe that the binary options industry and the FX industry is reeling. If you speak to any trader and you tell them this is the problem Spectre is solving, you have to be a psychotic trader to say, no, I don't see the problem. 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 traders will say, wow, yeah, I get it. Because I've been scammed by my broker before, I get what they're doing, right? Now, this isn't saying binary.com is a bad broker, not at all. But here's the truth. They are centralized. We are decentralized, right?
Right.
We have a proper use case for the blockchain. So that's what I would say. And it's not only binary.com. There are other brokerages that are looking to ICO because, look, ICO is seen right now as a honeypot, right? I want to make my millions. So people just come in and they want to raise 20, 30 million. There's one company which is raising 400 million. 400 million trading company. And they're going after the Asian markets because you brought a really good point up that the Asian markets are more higher risk. They like to gamble a bit more, etc. Right? So they're going in for the easy kill.
A lot more. They like to gamble a lot more.
A lot more, yeah. a lot more. Exactly. So you have to see this specific company is going for the entire Asian market. Their whole roadshows in the Asian market. And I kind of, I look at this and I'm like, be careful because 400 million, that can cause issues. But anyway, so yeah, it's obviously very tricky, right, on live calls like this to speak about competitors. But what I would like to say is that whatever you do, read our 20-page or 20 or 30-page white paper. It's even less. It's 22 pages. Read binary.com's 178-page white paper. Go for it, or however big it is last time we checked, and do your own due diligence and come to the conclusion. And if that conclusion is that you want to go with them, no problem. If it's come to us, then come to us. We're very happy to accept you.
All right. So thank you so much, Karan, for coming on to the Crypto Grinder show. Guys, sure. The public sale starts in 9 days. All right. And there's an 11% bonus available for the first week of the public sale. You've already missed the pre-sale already. Now, don't forget to join the public sale if you are interested. There's also a referral program that is part of this, the pre-sale, the public sale as well. And of course, any last words that you'd like to add before we end off the stream, Karan?
No, you've been very, very kind. Thank you so much for your time and also your community's time. And I look forward to hopefully doing another one, when everything is over.
Definitely. I think we would definitely want to hear from you, especially I think you and your team have been working very, very hard. I've had a chance to actually speak to Jai, who is focusing on the expansion and marketing of the company as well. I think, like you said, it takes a very, very strong team to build a business, and I really see the effort. We'll be in touch. All right, guys.
Thank you so much
for watching.
Have a good one.
Take care, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.